I ate it for canceling the birthday party I planned to throw for my wife after what she did. I am 36, remarried after my late wife passed away. I have a son, 15. My current wife and I have been together for 2 years. She generally has a good relationship with my son, although they tend to have some disagreements from time to time. My son has background in arts that involve wood. He used to help his grandfather with his woodworking and learned how to make handmade wooden items and use them as gifts. I planned a dinner party for my wife's birthday at a prestigious restaurant. The day before the party, she was cleaning my son's room and saw what he got her for her birthday, and that was a wooden tree with mine, hers, and his name on it. She talked with him and told him while she thought it was a sweet gift, she asked that he don't bring it to the restaurant and give it to her there. Why? No idea. When my son told me this, I just had to call her out on it. She flat out said that she thought the gift looked ridiculous and she didn't want it to be seen in that prestigious restaurant, and in front of her guests. I lost it on her and told her she should be ashamed of herself for saying this when my son was being sincere and thoughtful. She swore she wasn't ashamed, nor embarrassed, by his work, and even said she'll take the gift, but she simply didn't want it to be seen there. I told her not to worry about it since I decided to cancel the whole thing. She went off on me, calling me unreasonable for outright canceling her birthday over such trivial thing. I refused to keep arguing, but she threw a fit about how I ruined her birthday and made her lose respect for me and my promises. My son kept the gift since she left THD house 2 days ago, and her mom has been chewing me out for my decision and calling me an asshole for treating her daughter like this. It could be that it was not a big deal and I overreacted, but my son was feeling hurt by her request.
NTA. I'd be rethinking this marriage yesterday.
NTA. Thank you for having your son's back in all this. That means more than you know.
Long has she hated, resented your son? This was just incredibly cruel, and at a time in his life where he really needs to feel like the adults in his life love, value, and respect him. I hope you take some extra time with him, because that's got to hurt pretty badly.
NTA. She's old enough to pretend to like it even if she really doesn't for his feelings. I would be taking the tree table to show it off if my kids made me something that thoughtful.
Holy NTA at all. Your wife doesn't sound like a very kind person at all, but incredibly shallow and cruel. This calls for a, what the is wrong with her?
NTA. I don't even have the words for how bad her behavior is. She should have seen the sentimental value of the gift your son made her. The gift is basically pointing out that you three are a family, and she just spat all over it.
NTA. Your wife was the one that overreacted. Your son made her a handmade gift from his heart and she worried about how it looked. Most people would be thrilled to get something like that from a stepchild and would show it off with pride.
NTA. She thought it looked ridiculous? That's terrible. She has no appreciation for the amount of time and effort your son put into that very thoughtful gift. Good for you for standing up for him. He'll remember that you did that.
Agreed. Op's wife was downright cruel.
Cancel the whole marriage.
Her mom has been chewing me out for my decision and calling me an for treating her daughter like you defended your son after her daughter treated his really thoughtful gift. So a fantastic dad. You have a really nice kid, and you married an wife which gave you an mill.
A 15-year-old handmade a birthday gift for his stepmother? I don't know if she can see it's actually 2 gifts. 1. Obviously the tree itself, and 2. the thought and work he put into it. NTA. She can plan her own party.
NTA. Your poor son. He literally made her a family tree that was made up of you, his stepmom, and himself. Talk about him accepting her as part of his family. That almost never happens like that. And she was willing to accept it but didn't want anyone to see it. She doesn't deserve him as a or not that. You did not overreact. It is a huge deal. You are protecting your son and his feelings, and I am so glad that you put him first.
She doesn't want to be his mother. In any way, she has probably resented him all along. Please see the red flag.
That and the fact that the 15-year-old boy who lost his mother before stepmom came into the picture only 2 years ago feels strongly enough about her to put all their names on a tree, making it a family tree, saying he sees her as family. She should be crying tears of joy and parading the tree around. Town shouting from the rooftops how much it means to her. Instead she just ruined his trust, affections for her and possibly any other woman his dad has a relationship with. Op NTA and you never will be for putting your son to ad, she likely also just ruined his love of woodworking and has him questioning every piece he's ever given. Next time he goes to think about making something, it'll probably no longer bring him the joy it did thinking about his grandfather. Now it'll be tainted with this incident. Edit, thank you so much for the awards.
Also, how old is she to have her mom chewing him out? Not seeing this mill anytime soon.
100% this. As a fellow stepmom, getting something handmade from stepson is actually more meaningful than when my bio kids do it.
Is she though? She sounds like she's 19 to 20. This isn't a grown woman we are discussing here, and if it is, then wow.
She sounds like the stepmother from Parent Trap, almost caricaturely cruel. I thought it was a TV stereotype, I guess it's not sad face.
Seriously, Mill is chewing someone out for their treatment of her child. I assume wife didn't tell her the whole story because Mill might notice Op was similarly just taking action for his child.
Coming from having a wicked step-parent, please keep supporting your son. This, coming from a guy who was put through in his childhood.
I bet Mill doesn't see the irony in stepping up and defending a child even if Mill didn't get the right info.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Is she still in middle school and need her parents to help her win her arguments? Seemed really childish at that point.
I think she is young. Op did not say her age but said the others.
Stepparents like this give the rest of us a bad name. I can't tell you how much I would value and be proud of a homemade gift made by my stepson showing our names as a family unit. That would mean the world to me, and I would show everyone who would be willing to look. Good goddess, I am crying. Just thinking about it.
You got a prenup, right?
2 years and they're already married seems really fast emo when there's a child involved.
It makes me agree that she must be young, because usually a younger person will think that other diners in a restaurant will even notice you and your party. At my age, 36, I've realized that really no one in public is watching me, or really cares. Their immediate guests will, and they would, probably also enjoy the son's gift.
The amazing part is that, in this situation, the kid is trying to show his stepmom that he values her and that their relationship is important enough that he handmade her a thoughtful gift using a skill taught to him by his grandfather. And she didn't want to be seen with that gift and mad for Op and his son. What little person wife, obviously.
Or she did, and the mill is just as shallow and...
I think it's interesting he hasn't mentioned her age, unless I missed it. I'd be surprised if she was older than 25.
Jumping on topic, comment to ask, is the grandfather on the kid's mother's or father's side? His grandfather makes it sound like it's not OP's dad. If OP's kid used the craft he learned from his late mother's father to make this present, only for the stepmom to reject it like that. Hoo boy, that makes this so much worse.
I knew better at 19. I'm not sure this is an excuse.
She learned that behavior somewhere. Mill probably agrees with her.
If I had a step for 2 years and this was the gift I got, I would be bawling. It would be the best present I ever got. You want me to be a part of your family tree? After you lost your mum? The only way that gifting me that present would ruin my birthday dinner is because I'd cry the makeup off my face into the filet mignon.
Yes, I bet Mill is just she's missing out on that fancy restaurant dinner party.
He's only 36?
I can see that. I once wrote my stepdad a little note saying basically I like you and thanks for being nice to my mom. He still brings it up sometimes like 15 years later.
And, the stepson is a teenager. How often do we hear about teenage stepchildren who can't accept any kind of relationship with their stepparent? The gift itself is unimportant. The meaning is everything.
Exactly. OP's son's mother died and he made a family tree with him, his dad, and stepmom on it for stepmom for her birthday. And she thought it was op you are NTA, but your wife is absolutely awful. Like monstrously bad.
And also, he is still a child, he probably doesn't have his own money yet. What did she expect? A diamond necklace? A Rolex? He put his heart into this gift. I would be really touched to get something like this from my teenage stepson if I had one.
Are you assuming that only young women behave like this? Because I'm here to tell you that just isn't true. People in their 30s and 40s can be just as materialistic and vapid as someone in their 20s. In fact, some 20-year-olds can be more mature and humble than some 30 to 40-year-olds.
I'd probably break down in tears if my 15-year-old took the time and energy to make me something like this. What a thoughtful young man and feet of a wife.
Even though he's a teenager, I was thinking that if the stepson had made me a macaroni necklace, I would have proudly put it on at the restaurant and worn it the rest of the night. It's so much about the thought, especially with the delicacy of being a stepmom to a boy who lost his mum. The gift didn't have to be fancy or elaborate, but it sounds like the young man really did put his heart into it. This is so for cancelling the party. I don't see how the op and his son can move forward from this, especially since the stepmom had such a huge tantrum, left for several days, and sicked her mother on op. Wow.
That is quite priceless, right? Does she recognize the irony? Op nta at all? Your son sounds like a lovely, sweet boy. Purple heart.
I noticed that, too. There's a weird daddy-daughter vibe here, like, just for that, young lady, I'm cancelling your birthday party. And you're grounded for a week. I half expected her reaction to be, you're not my real dad.
Being afraid of gifts at a fancy restaurant screams insecurity. Old money doesn't gaf what waiters and maitre d's think. And waiters and maitre d's don't gaf either. It's all about the attitude.